Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we got so much to talk about on today's show. We do know that the Los Angeles Lakers took on the Portland Trailblazers yesterday at home in a game that was really not that contested of a game. And of course, we knew the Lakers were going to take care of business against the lowly Portland Trailblazers. I ain't going to say we knew because of the Lakers struggled the previous game against the Brooklyn Nets, who we thought they should have taken care of easily as well. But the Brooklyn Nets are a good, young, up-and-coming team, and you saw they gave the Clippers all they can handle until ultimately the Clippers came back and ultimately won the game. That was on yesterday as well, but we're not going to talk about that. Let's focus back onto the game on yesterday. And the headline that's coming out of that game is, I don't know if any of you saw it by now. I'm sure many of you have. D'Angelo's Russell post-game interview, not at the podium, but right after the game. He was seen having tears in his eyes on the bench, and while he was having the post-game presser right after the game, and he was just being a little emotional, talking about just never thinking he would be in a position to where he could throw LeBron James a bounce pass on a oop, or just have his dream of playing for the Los Angeles Lakers fulfilled. And a lot of people said that that was a telltale sign, because we have been hearing the rumors and the murmuring that D'Angelo Russell would be getting traded eventually soon, before this trade deadline that is swiftly approaching. But at the end of the day, he has not been traded as of yet. And a lot of people think, well, the reason that he was crying and emotional like this is because he knew he knows something, maybe something that we don't know yet, or he just knows the writing is on the wall. Me, personally, I try not to read too much into that. And if I had to take a guess why he was so emotional on yesterday, it would be because he is living up and finally playing to his potential, and he damn proud of himself. Because I, for one, have been one of those people saying one of these things too about getting D'Angelo Russell out of here. I have not been happy with the way that he has been playing. If you go back and listen to any of my shows in the preseason leading into the season, I said I had faith in D'Angelo Russell. He was trying to play better defense during training camp. It's something he really worked on. His three-point shot was looking damn good in the preseason. I was saying if he could shoot like this coming into the season, then he's going to be a very dangerous player on offense. But lo and behold, he went back to those ways, ultimately finding his way to the bench. I had said he's not very athletic, capable of getting downhill and breaking down defenses, because that's really not who he's been. He's been more of an offensive juggernaut, and that's what he's turned into these past 5 games, what I'm going to focus on here in just a little bit. But D'Angelo Russell, I think, was emotional because maybe he sees that he can make this thing work, and he's happy, and he's been carrying around such an emotional burden of thinking he's going to get traded and how terrible he's been playing. And now he sees, hey, I regained my starting spot back on the team. I've been playing well. Whatever happens, they can't blame this on me, because if you look at it, in the last 5 games, D'Angelo Russell was averaging 27 points a game and 6 assists. And you tell me any point guard in this league that's averaging 27 and 6, I guarantee you would take those numbers. And even though I haven't been a major proponent of one just advocating for D'Angelo Russell to stay on the Los Angeles Lakers, I will say this: if he can play like this, then that is a different story. I just call it like I see it. It's nothing personal. It's strictly business. But if you listen to D'Angelo Russell's post-game presser, not after the game, but when he got to the podium, notice he had those shades on. I don't know, he tends to wear those a lot, so I don't know if it was to cover the tears from having been emotional earlier, or if it was just his style. But at the end of the day, he said some very important things. And if you didn't really listen to that interview, I want you guys to go back and check out what he was saying, because he said some very interesting things. And to me, the biggest takeaway that I took from what he said was that while he was away with the injured tailbone, he saw some things on the floor that he couldn't necessarily see when he was playing on the floor. And let me give you an example. A lot of NFL quarterbacks who get thrown in the fire, you say, well, that's the best way. They got drafted high. Throw them out there. That's how they got to learn. No. Look at the great Steve Mack. Steve McNair, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. Air McNair sat behind, I think maybe it was Neil O'Donnell, maybe Bubby Brister. I think it was Neil O'Donnell back in that 95 season, 96 season, whatever it was, and learned not only for 1 year, but for 2 years as a backup. And that made him who he was. You could see what other players do to win. You can see their routines. You can see what they're doing on the floor. And what D'Angelo Russell noticed, that the big takeaway for me was this. He said that he had been trying so hard previously to get AD the ball and to get LeBron James the ball, because these two players are great. I got to get them the ball. I'm the point guard. I got to get them the ball so we can be great, so they can score, so they can be happy. But what he said, what he noticed was, no, by looking at it through the lens of sitting on the sideline and watching what they needed, LeBron don't have no trouble getting to the rim and getting his. AD doesn't have any trouble. You can facilitate and get it to him in the post play, pick and roll, whatever it is. He doesn't have any trouble getting his. But what the Lakers need is that third scorer. That's what they need. Austin Reeves has been somewhat that guy, but he's still not there yet. And, you know, I've been a proponent of Austin Reeves just because he's been able to break down defenses better than D'Angelo Russell, using some of his athleticism to garner contact and be able to get to the line, something that D'Lo hadn't been doing. But to me, I think D'Lo is still more of a talented player, so I don't want anybody to get that misconstrued. Now, don't get, you know, but anyway, D'Angelo Russell, he said he has to attack more, because the attention that a LeBron James gets, the attention that Anthony Davis gets, makes it easier for him to find his offense. And that's what he's been doing as of late. And I think if LeBron, all LeBron want to do is win. Now, LeBron might be the one saying, hey, get his ass out of here. Who knows? But if you're playing at the top level, if you could play like how Kyrie, you can't say LeBron can't play with a true point guard when you see he played with Kyrie Irving for those years, 3 years in a row. And they went to the finals 3 years in a row and won one, and probably would have won another had Kyrie and Kevin Love not been injured. But we all know about that. I'm not going to digress and get into that. But at the end of the day, the emotion coming out of D'Angelo Russell could have been that, hey, it could have been him knowing that he is getting traded. Who knows? But if he plays like that, I'm pretty sure the front office and anybody else, it's not like he's getting a huge salary. Now, if the Lakers can go out and get Dejounte Murray from Atlanta for D'Lo in the first round pick, I say they do it, just because Dejounte Murray, I think, is has far more athleticism. He's a scorer. He's a facilitator. He's going to give you more on defense, and he has more size. And I don't think he could be a defensive liability, even though D'Lo has been playing better defense as of late. He still ultimately is a defensive liability. And I'm not saying Dejounte Murray is some lockdown defender, but what I'm saying is he's going to be better than D'Angelo Russell. So if you can make that trade, I would pull the trigger, even though you don't want to break up the continuity of a team. But the Lakers haven't had any continuity all year just because of the lineup constant changes. And even if you saw on yesterday, you know, Cam Reddish, who had been out with the sore knee, was coming back. And, of course, Taurean Prince was now out with a sore knee. But instead of Cam Reddish getting the go-ahead nod, which he was getting the go-ahead nod before to be in the starting lineup, Coach elected to go at Rui Hachimura for yet a different lineup. But at the end of the day, man, all the Lakers players played well. LeBron James, 8 out of 16 from the field yesterday. That's 50%. 3 out of 8 from 3. That's 38%. 9 out of 10 from 3. 90% from LeBron James. Had a game high, I think, plus 28 on the floor. So him and D'Lo are playing well together. You know, Anthony Davis, I think, only played 27 or 28 minutes. So the Chargers definitely led by D'Angelo Russell and LeBron James. D'Lo with a great game yet again, 34 points, 1 rebound, 8 assists, 29, plus 29. So he is actually at the higher, plus 29 on the floor yesterday, and 14 out of 21 overall, 6 out of 11 from 3. Outstanding. That's over 50% from 3. And then you look at it, Austin Reeves had a good game, and it feels like when D'Lo is playing good, Austin Reeves is playing good, and they both are fans of each other's game. They have a great relationship as far as a friendship, and they had high hopes of being a good dominant backcourt entering into the season. But because of the lack of Darvin Ham's trust in his backcourt and making all the several changes that he made, you never got a chance to really see Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell grow together in this backcourt. So now that they've started to get a little more continuity and getting a good lineup, I think if you got D'Lo, Austin Reeves, LeBron, AD, no matter who you plug in that fifth spot, whether it be a Vando who's going to give you the defensive effort that you need, those loose ball efforts that you need, whether it's Taurean Prince or Cam Reddish, who both are good 3-and-D guys for the Lakers, I think they can still be dangerous. I don't think they need to go make a whole lot of moves. If they can just get some consistency out of this lineup, we'll see how well they take on the Clippers tomorrow night, and we can see, but once again, if the Lakers keep playing up and down to their competition, they beat the Clippers twice already this season. They've beaten OKC twice. They're playing top teams a lot better than they're playing lower teams. They're losing to teams like Orlando, losing to teams like Brooklyn. They can't continue to do that. I think they're 4 games behind being in that 6th seed to get out of the play-in. So still a lot of games left. If the Lakers can, I say, go like 10-2 or 9-3 over the next 12, they'll make up some ground and start having conversations about trying to secure that 4th or 5th seed. So a lot of basketball to talk about. And I neglected to mention Christian Wood. Christian Wood has been very consistent as of late. 17 minutes for him yesterday. He gave you 4 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, but he was plus 20. You're talking about 6 assists. That's great coming from the center position. Had a couple of steals and 3 blocks as well. So that's what we need Christian Wood to continue to do. Jackson Hayes has been relegated to the bench. I think he should stay that way. I like his athleticism, but he fouls a lot. And at the end of the day, let him be down there just in case. But you don't need to put too many people in the rotation, and that's been part of Darvin Ham's problem. But at the end of the day, we'll see tomorrow night as the Lakers take on the Clippers. Clippers been looking good. I'm sure they're seeking revenge. It's going to be a Clippers home game this time, so we'll see what the Lakers can come out and do. Maybe we'll get a pregame show going tomorrow, depending on if I'm able to come on or not. I appreciate everybody who's been joining me. If you haven't done so already, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe. And as always, this has been your boy, B New. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.